go. Our top five in no particular order. Congratulations, you are part of the top five. Candidate number 19. Barangay Tindog. Cerdoncillo. Take your place, candidate number 16. From Barangay Panugnawan, Pino. You are part of the top five. Candidate number 2. From Barangay Canhabagat, Bernadete, Tiongzon. Your journey continues. Candidate number 7. From Barangay Maharuhay, Irish De Lima. And to complete our top 5, give some out. Candidate number 6. From Barangay Antipolo, Janinne, Noynay. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 5, let's give them a big round of applause.
Let's go!
Congratulations to our top 5 finalists, but the competition is not over. As we move inches closer from the coveted crown, our top 5 finalists will undergo one last hurdle, and that is our final Q&A. At this point, once again, all of our candidate scores are once again back to 0, putting each one of them on equal footing for the last time tonight. They will be judged based on beauty, wit, and intelligence, and the judges' overall impression of our finalists. I would like to request the rest of our finalists please proceed to our headset area.
6 may last. Siya may last.
As these ladies will be asked one common question, and they will be provided with headsets to ensure that they will not hear the question nor the answer of the candidate preceding them. And right now we would like to call on the chairperson of Miss Medellin 2022 Beauty Band Committee, Madam Gemma Cristina Antipolo Castro, to hand in the final question. Gemma, thank you so much. And our first finalist, candidate number 19. Can the rest of the finalists hear me? Alright, to our ushers, please make sure kadili sila makanumog na mo. Hello, candidate number 19. How are you feeling being part of the top 5?
I feel blessed and grateful.
Alright, one final challenge separating you and the crown. Are you ready?
Yes.
And your final question is, after surviving the 2 years COVID-19 pandemic, and of course, the Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson? Or opinion, after surviving 2 years of COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson?
Thank you so much for the question. Well, in the pandemic, when pandemic started, we didn't even know what's going next, and we're full of uncertainties and confusion. And when Typhoon Odette hit the country, we were also confused what to do. But one thing that I've learned through the calamity is that we should never take things for granted. You know, in the time of pandemic, a lot of people lost their job and even lost their loved ones. So I'm standing here in front of you telling them you should be grateful for everything that you have in life, and you should never take things for granted, because one person could never have access to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Being grateful and not take things for granted. Salamat, candidate number 19. We move on with candidate number 16. From Barangay Panugnawan, Pino. At first, kanina you mentioned you didn't expect to be part of the top 10. Karon, apil ka sa top 5. How are you feeling tonight?
It's overwhelming because on the top 5, I was told second, so I felt relieved.
All right, but of course, one final challenge or final question. Are you ready? Here we go. Your final question is: after surviving the 2 years COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson? I'll repeat: after surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson?
For almost 3 years now, we've suffered from pandemic where people face different struggles, be it financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And after all the struggles that our country faced, I realized that it's time to take up our responsibilities as a citizen of our country. It's because together, let's have our collective efforts have a greater effect. Together, let's end the pandemic. Thank you.
Together, let's end this, and with it, of course, take on the responsibility as citizens as well. Thank you very much. Candidate number 16, we move on with candidate number 2. From Canhabagat, Maria Bernadete Tiongzon. Ito ba yung angka mo?
All my friends call me Berna, and in Cebu, because my Facebook name is Maria Tiongzon, and they call me it's Maria.
Maria, sige, I'll call you Maria. Ano man yung muha ang ipa-binaw kaniha? Indot ba ang playlist sa atong mga dancer?
It's music, and I also love music, so I love it.
Alright, perfect. One final challenge for you here tonight. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Alright, Maria, here we go. After surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette onslaught, which happened last December, for you, what is the greatest life lesson? I'll repeat, after surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson?
Thank you for the question. 3 of my family members lost their lives because of COVID. In this time of pandemic, I've learned to fight my fears. I've learned to hide my problems and my loneliness despite my depression. And this is what I want people to learn from me, to have faith and trust in God. Let's put God in the center of everything, because if we trust Him in all aspects of our life, then there is love, hope, and faith in our heart. And if there is love in our heart, and if we could be united and together, working and helping each other's hand, we can heal as one. Thank you.
Before us, a strong and brave woman who stood up despite the challenges that they have faced. Thank you so much for being an inspiration to all of us. Now we move on to candidate number 7 from Barangay Maharuhay, Irish De Lima. Hello, Irish. Good evening. How are you feeling? Being part of the top 5?
Such an honor, and I'm so blessed that I was able to make it to the top. And there's nothing I can wish for, but just do my best, just to make everyone proud, most especially those who are supporting me, and to the people of Barangay Maharuhay.
For sure, everyone supporting you is proud of you here tonight. The one challenge between you and the crown, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Your final question is, after surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Typhoon Odette onslaught, which happened last December, for you, what is the greatest life lesson? I'll repeat. After surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson?
All throughout the years, we have been challenged for a lot of times, not just only in pandemic, not just only under that, but I believe that each individual has their own challenges, has their own trials that they are currently facing. However, we remain steadfast. We remain stronger than the way we were. We remain optimistic. And one thing, despite the pandemic, despite being struggle, we are able to have this Miss Medellin 2022. And I was able to stand here in front of you advocating. Thank you.
Thanks very much, candidate number 7 from Barangay Maharuhay. And finally, last but not least, we have candidate number 6, representing Barangay Antipolo, Janinne Noynay. Janinne, you continue to be bubbly, you continue to smile. Are you nervous at all?
Honestly, I'm not.
Positive moment right there. All right, one final challenge. Are you ready?
I'm born to be ready.
Born to be ready. I love the confidence. Here we go, Janinne, your final question. After surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and Typhoon Odette onslaught, which happened last December, for you, what is the greatest life lesson, or repeat? After surviving the 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Typhoon Odette onslaught, for you, what is the greatest life lesson?
The pandemic taught me to be vulnerable at the peak of my strength. Pandemic and Odette taught me that it's okay to be vulnerable at times, because in vulnerability, you're able to reflect and adjust self-improvement. Now, I urge everyone to be able to know the importance of self-reflection. It is one way for communal success and improvement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Candidate number 6, self-reflection, meditation. Wow!